I have on my vision board and my goals for 2023 to finish my book. Some days it seems like a mountain that's insurmountable. And tell me about the process and where the motivation came from for that and how you then got it to, be on paper in black and
Yeah.
white.
So of course the motivation was I started with Alcohol is Not Your Friend publication with Medium, right? Started
Yeah.
writing that. And as I was writing, Nate, because the purpose was I wanted people to learn what I didn't know, right? If I can get this out and touch someone and educate them, I feel great about it. So the more I wrote, the more I learned. And I'm like, man, this is such good information that I had no concept of. Wouldn't it be awesome to put this in a manner that some people could just one-stop shop? You have access to it, you make your decision with it. And there's a lot of different books out there. But once again, and I wrote an article about this, why I hate Quit Lit. There's a
Yeah.
lot of good things in Quit Lit that I've read, but a lot of the stories are, hey, this happened, I was doing this, I was at rock bottom, and then I came out of it. Nothing wrong with that. But I thought there needed to be more voices of, you don't have to hit rock bottom. There's something that is there that you just need to look at it holistically to recognize, can you be a better version of yourself without it? So what I did, and I don't know what your process is and how you go about writing. I just started, Nate, every day to write at least 300 words. That was
Mm,
just all the feedback I'd gotten from a lot of people I was reading, like just commit to a word number every day, and regardless, hit that number.
I love
So
that.
every day, at least 300 words. Some days that took me 15, 20 minutes. Some days that took me 30 minutes or an hour. But a lot of times I would get 300 words pretty easily. And then I would make up 500 or 600 words in a day. So it was
Yeah.
but every day, Nate, I didn't miss a day. Every day I woke up 4:30 in the morning or 5 o'clock usually. I sat down, banged out 30 words. And it took me to write Bamboozled. It took me solid 6 months of writing to get the first draft together. And then another 3 months of editing that allowed me to probably add another maybe 10,000 words to it. So it was a fair amount of additional work done in the next
Yeah.
3 months. But when it came to the initial 75,000 words, I did that over a 3 month period, a 6 month period, just by writing and committing to 300 words every single day. That's it. It's just that word. I'm telling you, Nate, that word count, you will be so amazed at
Yeah.
how quickly it comes. And it doesn't have to be great. There was a lot of times I wrote and I was like, yeah, that's probably not the best 300 words I've written ever before. So
So
we'll
did
come
you
back and look
like
at that.
get everything out and
Mm-hmm.
then organize it as far as how you put the book together, or did you sort of organize, like have an outline and then fill in the outline?
I was the outline guy. I'm a
Okay.
big planner, man.
Yeah,
Like
me
my wife,
too.
yeah,
That's
I'm a planner. So I needed to have an outline and a sense of where I was going. So I divided the book up into pretty much 4 sections. They're just questions that I typically ask. The first part is, why do you do it? So we talk about the whole history of alcohol, and then we talk about the science around it to explain people that alcohol is a drug that works really, really well.
yeah.
Not only does it make you feel better and it solves a lot of your problems, but it has this thing that it does to you physiologically, that it actually creates the need for itself, where you, before you like it, and eventually if you keep going, when this is where alcohol dependence comes, you'll need it. So we talk about that. We talk about the history of society and marketing and how you've been pushed alcohol ever since you were probably 5 or 6 years old and you don't
Yes.
recognize it. Dude, I went and watched Puss in Boots 3 weeks ago with my wife in the movie, and it doesn't even dawn on me now, but now it does, where you got Puss in at the bar drinking mead ale, and he's a
Wow.
kitten. It's a
Wow.
cartoon, and he's drinking beer, and it's like, come on,
Outrageous.
yeah, it's just, it's subtle. And then when you get older, it's in everything get pushed on you, like how much you see. And I think there was a study was done where I think it was like 92% of movies and series at some point have some representation of alcohol throughout the show. I mean, it's everywhere
We've
all
been
the time.
conditioned
We've
to,
been
yeah.
socially engineered to drink.
Yes.
And it's in everything. It's in movies. It's in weddings. It's in birthday parties. It's in baby showers. It's
Right.
everywhere.
Right.
So anyway, we talk about that. Next, we talk about what do you have to gain? And that's where we talk about like the career, how your career gets better, how your finances get better, how your relationships get better, how your health get better, how aging, if you want to talk about aging, and this is where we talk about the concept of 40 years old. when you often look at people and you can see a 70-year-old that's in a cane or in a wheelchair and is struggling to even talk, and you see a 70-year-old that's lifting weights and
Yeah.
skiing.
Right.
Alcohol plays a big part into what the quality of your life looks like down the road, right? So
100%.
we talk about all of that. The next third part is how do you do it? And the how do you do it is where we get into like the meds, like the my physiological or my philosophical approach to helping people stop drinking. And say, all right, there's these 4 things you can do to stop drinking. And then lastly, we talk about what do you want to gain or who do you want to be? And that's like red pill, blue pill choice. Now you have the knowledge. You choose to do what you want to do with it. You want to go back to your life and live the regular life, then that's fine. Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Or do you want to try something different? But I broke the outline down and then I filled in the outline along the way.
Yeah. That's kind of where I am now. It's like you just reminded me of like a choose your adventure book. It's like it's like a fork in the road. Which one are you going to choose? Where are you going to go?
I used to love those, man, growing
I
up. I love those. And so just so you know, and your audience knows, Nate, that's part of the book. So the book does this thing I call alcohol parables. So as we walk through career, finances, relationships, I have a story of 2 people that start out in similar situations and both are having drinking questions, if you will. And they both get to a fork in the road, and then one goes one way and one goes the other way. And you get to see how their lives play out accordingly.
Wow. I love that.
Yeah.
Ken, what is something that a listener who is perhaps still struggling and came across you and I today, what are 2 things that they can do today to get the ball rolling?
Oh, yeah. So first, Andy Grace's This Naked Mind is just one of the best books ever. So I tell
Great
people,
resource.
yeah, and that's the very first step of the process, the meds. So there's 4 part of the meds. I'll share this right now because I think it's just relevant to this conversation. Mental engineering, re-engineering is the first part. And what that is, Nate, it's like everything we talked about, that just the social engineering that has taken place in you over X amount of years, it's not going to be able to go away overnight.
Right.
You're going to have to do a lot of reading and research to really understand why you think, or why a lot of us feel like alcohol is something we need. And that just takes a lot of reading and research and time. So mental engineering is the first part. So I say start finding books that you can resonate with you. Annie Grace, This Naked Mind would be one. And the second thing I would say is talk to someone about your decision that you feel like you can connect with, who might be willing to do it with you. You getting through it, or because there's going to be a 3 to 6 month period where it is going to be challenging because your body is physiologically changed to drink, and the cravings are going to be there. Your body's going to want that alcohol. Trying to do it by yourself is a lot more difficult than if you have someone to do it for you. Like I said, I was lucky enough to have my wife to do it with me, and that just made all the difference. So I say, 1, find a good book. Annie Grace's This Naked Mind is great. When Bamboozled coming out, hopefully that'll be another good resource for you. Yeah. And then 2, find a friend that you can talk to about it who will do it with you, because that's going to make it a lot easier for you. Yeah.
Good strategy. Very good strategy. Easy takeaways that people can do today with simply that motivation to live a better life, I think is where it comes from.
That's it, man. That's it.
So Bamboozled is or is not available yet?
So it is not available as of yet. So I talked to my publisher yesterday. I talked to my design person. Man, it has been, God, it's been so long since we've been working on this.
There's so much involved that you don't even think about, right?
Dude, when you write the book, Nate, and you should know this, when you finish writing, like, oh, I got everything out. That is just the beginning. Yeah. That's not actually somewhat the easy part. Like, that's the easiest part is writing it. Then you got to do everything else. So at any rate, the digital version should be out mid-March to late March. That's what we're hoping right now. If you're interested in signing up for a copy, it's called thebamboozledbook.com. That is my website. You can get on my newsletter. I'm actually looking to create a launch team. As you may have heard, a launch team. Amazon reviews are so important. Yes. So I'm looking for people who are open to getting an advanced copy of the book. You get an advanced copy, and I just ask, get an advanced copy, read, listen, and I'll be straight up with you. I don't even care if you read the whole thing, because you don't need to read the whole thing. It's written in a manner that you can read chapters to get what you want. But if you get anything from it and it's helpful, just leave a review. That's
Yeah.
what I need, because Amazon reviews is going to get the word out there and get it exposed to more people. So I ask people, if you go to thebamboozledbook.com, you'll get access to my newsletter. And then if you're interested in getting on my launch team, you can always email me, ken@kenmmiddleton.com, M for my middle name, McKimsey. So ken@kenmmiddleton.com. I'm looking for people to be on the launch team with me. And hopefully it will, the digital version, mid to late March. The actual physical version, it will be out in all bookstores in August.
Nice. I will link everything in today's show notes as well, where you can find Ken, everything he's talked about so far. Tell us how you got involved with the medium.
Well, Medium. So I think I was just researching or looking for articles to read, and all of a sudden I stumbled upon it. And then as I was looking at different publications that talked about sobriety and alcohol, once again, it was all, hey, this is like hardcore addiction, which that is real. There's a lot of help that people need there. But
Yeah.
I really wanted, it was a vacuum when it came to wellness, not really a hard problem, but something in which people need to look at. And then the other side of was just the scientific aspect of drinking. I really wanted to hone in on the science, because in Bamboozle, we talk about it in the sense of, this isn't my opinion. There have been numerous studies done that really talk about this. So I really wanted to focus on the science of how drinking changes you. So when I was thinking about creating the platform or creating Alcohol Is Not Your Friend, it was really to focus on, how do I scientifically, or how do I get all of this science information out to the community so then people could make their decisions? So I started writing articles on my own for probably about 3 to 4 months. And there were a lot of people commenting. I was getting followers. And then I was like, man, you know what? Like, this is all of my opinion, but I don't have all the answers. There's a lot of other people that probably have good answers too. So then I started inviting a lot of other people, like, hey, if you've gone through this and you got good things that can help other people to learn from your experience, please share. And so now I'm happy to say we have over 200 writers that contribute every week and every other week or whenever they want to, just talking about their story and what's worked for them. Because at the end of the day, everybody has to have their own journey, and what works for me might not work for you. So I say, share your information, because it might be the very thing that someone else needs to hear that changes everything for them.
That's exactly right. And we all have our own journey, and we never know what tiny little thing we say or do or write could spark something in someone else or resonate with someone. And it could be the smallest thing that we may not even think of. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, 100%, man. So I love it, man. I enjoy, try to write as much as possible. And it's just a great platform. Like, if there's anything you want to say, it's great for you to get on there. I love it. Like, you can pay us $5 a month, so it's pretty cheap to get access to all of the material. But there's a free version that you can go and write your ideas, and you don't pay for anything. So if there's any of your listeners is like, hey, I got something to say, as long as, there's certain criteria we have at AINYF. It has to be science-based. It has to tell a story and give a takeaway for the reader. There's certain criteria we have to write an article. But if anyone interested and want to help others, they can go up there, create an account, and then find the publication. And I'm always taking new writers all the time.
Ken, any parting words for our listeners today? Let's, a little Sunday motivation for them.
Yeah. I tell people, the dry January is awesome. Like, I think that's better than nothing. But I wrote an article about this. If you really want to give your very best version of yourself the chance, you got to give it 90 days, man. I just think once you experience that 90 days and just see all of because it's so compounding of what alcohol does and how it can change everything. And I tell people, Nate, I'm like, listen, once again, and I've said this a few times, there's nothing wrong with drinking if that's what you want to do. I do think at 40, you should stop, because it really, really makes your aging so much terrible, and your quality of life deteriorates if you drink into your older ages. But if you want to live a life and be the very best version of yourself and do some things that you before could have never imagined, why not give it yourself a shot by giving alcohol up? And I guarantee you give it 90 days, like you truly give it 90 days and push yourself to be a great person, man, the benefits that you're gain versus what you had with drinking, they don't even compare. So I tell people, what do you have to lose? Just give it a shot. And I guarantee you that your future self will look back and thank your previous self when you realize who you become down the road. So that's it.
That's it. Ken Middleton, I appreciate your time today, my friend. Lots of great resources. You've got this aura that is inviting and super knowledgeable, and I love your delivery. I appreciate your time today.
Nate, thanks so much, man. I love what you're doing in Sobriety Diaries, man. It's making a difference. So you keep up the great work you're doing. So proud of you and excited for you to continue to grow and do amazing things.
Thank you, sir. We'll talk soon.
All right, take care.
Thank you so much for listening today, friends. Hopefully you heard something that resonates with you. And if we help just one person, our job is done. Make sure you check today's show notes for all the information discussed in the episode and how to connect with our guest. And as always, check us out at thesobrietydiaries.com, youtube.com/Nate Kelly, and on Instagram at the Sobriety Diaries Pod. Please head over to Apple Podcasts and rate and review the show, friends. It truly helps other people to find the show, and in turn, we can help more people. Until next Wednesday, try your best not to drink and be good to yourselves. Bye, everyone.